Hello students, today's agenda is we're going to be working on volumes of cones, and you will be able to work on 11.3. Today students will be able to find the volume of cones. And so before we start, if you go to YouTube, you can see demonstrations of why is it that you will see the formula in a minute. And what they demonstrate is that they have a cylinder that is the same height, it has the same area for the base, and it has the same height for the cone. So this height right here, from here to here, is the same as from here to here. It's the same height. And so what they do is that they put either in one video they put popcorn, in another they put liquid, and they empty it, and they fill three cones, fill up the whole cylinder. Okay, so that's the demonstration. You can see videos, it's super cool to see why the formula. And so that relates to this formula. So the formula is that you multiply base times height. If you recall from the previous lesson, for the cylinder, the volume is just the area of the base times the height, and that's it. But in here we multiply by 1/3, and that's the reason, because this is 1/3 of that, or 3 of this fill up the cylinder. Okay, so that's why we multiply by 1/3. The base is a circle. Okay, the base of this shape is a circle. And so that's why for the base we replace with pi r squared, because that's the area of the circle. And you just bring down the height and the 1/3. I was sharing with my students that in our home countries, in Latin America, they, instead of using 1/3 of base times height, what they do is multiply base times height, meaning the area of the base times the height, divided by 3. Because if you empty the water from here, you're going to divide it into 3 cones. Okay, so it's the same thing if you multiply this by 1/3, or instead of 1/3, you can just say divide by 3. Okay, and if you notice, this 1/3 is right here. This is the area of the base, which is a circle, pi r squared, times height, divided by 3. Okay, so that's the formula for a cone. 1/3 the area of the base times the height, or base times height divided by 3. This capital B represents the area of the base. Okay, let's put that into practice. And so here we have a cone. It says that the diameter is 6, that the height of the cone is 8. So the volume is going to be 1/3 the area of the base times the height, or volume is equals to the area of the base times the height divided by 3. Okay, let me work with this one, and then I'll come back to this one, because I know that you will see this and it's good to see the difference. So the area of the base is pi r squared times height divided by 3. Pi r squared, sometimes they ask you to leave the answer in terms of pi, so you can just keep bringing the pi down, and then at the end, if they ask you to simplify, you can multiply by 3.14, or if not, you just leave the pi. So you're just multiplying the rest and dividing by 3, and then put the pi in front. Okay, but if they don't ask you to leave it in terms of pi, you just put 3.14 times the radius. The diameter is 6. The radius is only from the center to the edge of the circle, so it's only 3 square, times height, which is times 8, and everything divided by 3. So in here is 3.14 times 3 square is 9 times 8. Don't forget that we never multiply a base times the exponent. Some people want to multiply 3 times 2. No, it's 3 times 3. This just tells me how many times. Divided by 3. And usually at this point, I just said use your calculators. Unless if you're not able to use your calculator, then multiply this, multiply times this, and then divide by 3. Or some people already know the shortcut that you can simplify only one factor. Okay, so 3.14 times 9 times 8 divided by, notice how it gave me the answer already, divided by 3 equals. And so the answer is 75.36. We look at the unit of measurement. Oops, this is supposed to be centimeters. I guess the computer just brought it down here. Okay, so the unit of measurement is going to be cubic centimeters. Okay, cubic because it's 3-dimensional. Okay. Okay, let's go back to this one and you will see that the answer is going to be the same. Base is pi r squared times the height. So 1/3 times 3.14 times the radius, which is we already know that is 3 squared, times the height, which is 8. And so in here, the first thing that we are going to simplify is the square, so 3.14 times 9 times 8. We multiply all of these, and I'll show you, we'll bring this over here. So 3.14 times 9 times 8 equals, if you remember, that was the answer that we got when we multiply this and then divided by 3. So times 226.08. We put this over 1 and we're going to multiply straight. And so 1 times 226.08 is just 226.08 divided by 3 times 1, 3. Notice how that's going to be, when we multiply this, that was the answer, and you're dividing by 3. So that's where we divide by 3. That's where we get the 75.36. Again, the unit of measurement is cubic, so cubic centimeters. Okay? So this is the answer either way. So whichever works with you. I don't know if you noticed, but there is like one less step in here. Okay, after I replace the formula is 1, 2, 3. In here, after I replace the formula is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 2 steps less when you are actually using the division. So it's up to you. I think I'm going to be using the second form. Okay, so here is another one. And so the volume is equals to the area of the base times the height divided by 3, because I told students, if it has a point, so pyramids and cones, you divide by 3. Ouch, ouch, pointy. Then divide by 3. Okay, so the area of the base is a circle. Only when you have a circle, you put pi r squared. Some people are putting pi r squared even for other shapes that are not circles. So be careful about that. Pi r squared times height divided by 3. Let me show you one that you leave in terms of pi. So what you do is just leave pi right there and replace everything. The radius in here, we don't have the diameter, it's already the radius, so it's going to be 5 squared times height is 8 divided by 3. When they say leave in terms of pi, all you do is just bring the pi down and simplify everything else. So pi, 5 squared is 25 times 8 divided by 3. We multiply all of this and divide by 3. So 25 times 8 divided by 3 is equals to We say that it's, actually, if we multiply only this, sometimes they even leave it in fractions. So 25 times 8 is 200 divided by 3 pi. That's how they would simplify it, or I mean leave it in terms of pi. I usually prefer the decimal form, so if they ask you to leave in terms of pi, that's what you leave. But for me, please go all the way. So what you're gonna do is, I will replace in here. I'm gonna go this route now, okay? This is the way I would like it. So it's 3.14 times 25 times 8 divided by 3. Okay, so this is just to show you, because in college sometimes they will ask you to do it this way. So in here you just, I would even replace it from here and bring it down, but either way, 3.14 times 25 times 8 and then divided by 3 is equals to 209.333333. If it repeats, all you have to do is put a little dash on top. It means it continues on forever. So the volume is 209.3. I look at the unit of measurement is inches, but since it's three-dimensional, it's cubic inches. Sorry about this messy. Okay, so again, for me, do replace it with 3.14 for pi, but in case they ask you to just simplify, that's all you do. Okay, you don't leave decimals and you don't put 3.14 for pi, you just bring it down. The last one, I'm just gonna do it this way. And so, but in here we have something else. We're missing the height. And in here, if you notice, these form a right triangle. So from previous lessons, you've learned the Pythagorean Theorem. Which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And what it says is that the two sides that form the right angle are a and b. If you square that, that should be equals to the longer side, which is called the hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. And so we don't have a, and this can be a or this can be a, it doesn't matter, but I'm just gonna put this a and b, but this can be a and b, either way. So a, we don't have that, it's gonna be x. So x squared plus 3 squared is equals to 9 squared. Remember that the longer side is always alone, it's always the c part of it. And so we're going to simplify that. X squared plus 3 times 3, 9. 9 times 9, 81. And so in here, you have to look, how can I leave x by itself? Do I have to add or do I have to subtract? And so in here, I notice that I'm adding 9, so I'm going to subtract 9. So x squared is equals to, well, 81 minus 9 is 72. I take the square root of both sides because we cannot have x squared. We need x by itself, and the square is canceled by the square root. So we do it to one side, we do it to the other side. So 72, the square root of that is 8.49. We're gonna round it to 8.49. And this is again centimeters, but my computer is doing funky things. Okay. So now we know that this height is equals to 8.49. Now we can use the formula, volume is equals to the area of the base times the height divided by 3. And the area of the base is pi r squared times the height, which we didn't have, but now we do. And pi is 3.14. Again, if they ask you to leave in terms of pi, you just bring it down. Pi, and then times radius squared. The radius is 3 squared. Again, we don't divide by 2 because it's not all the way over here. This time it's only halfway from the center to the edge. times the height, we already have that, is 8.49. Let me tell you that a lot of people got this wrong because they were not looking for the height. So be careful with that. We divide by 3. Then this is 3.14 times 3 squared is 9 times 8.49 divided by 3. And that's where our calculator comes in. So 3.14 times 9 times 8.49 divided by, if you want to put this answer, that's fine, 239 point, and we'll round to 93 divided by 3. So divided by 3 is equals to, the volume is 79.98. We go to the unit and it's centimeters, so it's cubic centimeters because it's volume. Volume will always be cubic, okay? So with this, you're now able to work on lesson 11.3 and have fun.